The Best Christmas Present, Part 2. In the first part, I told you the narrator found a black tin box. Inside the black tin box, he found an envelope, and when he opened the envelope, he found a letter written by Jim McPherson to his wife, Mrs. Jim McPherson, and the date on which the letter was written was December 26, 1914. That is a day after the Christmas, and 1914 the First World War started. The World War first started in 1914 and ended in 1918. So why I am referring to the First World War? Because this has got a lot to do with the World War First. Now the narrator starts reading the letter, and the letter is addressed to Mrs. Dearest Connie. And who is Connie? Connie is the wife of Jim McPherson. So what Jim McPherson writes in the letter to his wife, I would now like to discuss with you. Now Jim McPherson wrote to his wife, Mrs. McPherson, Jim McPherson, that is Connie, that Dearest Connie, today I want to share with you something very, very unusual, something which perhaps have never happened in the history of mankind. Something very unusual happened yesterday. Yesterday means on the Christmas day, okay, which perhaps would never happen and which perhaps never had happened earlier. You know what, Connie? That it was 25th December when they actually, it is the time when Jim McPherson is in the war. The war, First World War started, and Jim McPherson was sent to the war as a commander, as a leader of the British Army to fight against the Germans. You know, in the First World War, Adolf Hitler, the dictator, was very, very powerful, and he was trying to conquer the different nations of the world. He wanted to be a dictator of all the nations of the world. So the British and the Germans were dead enemies, and it was in the middle of the war, the peak of the war, when the war was at its peak. Okay, so this is something at that time when this incident happens. So the British soldiers and the German soldiers, they were all hiding in the trenches. Trenches are very, very big holes that are dug in the ground, and the army, the soldiers, live inside this ditches, the trenches, so that they can remain protected. And whenever they see their enemy, they try to shoot and they try to kill the enemy. So both the German soldiers and the British soldiers, they are at their borders, okay, and in their own borders they are hiding in the trenches, the soldiers. And the British army was led by Jim McPherson, and the German army was led by Hans Wolf, okay, the German commander. So Jim McPherson is saying that on the Christmas morning, as I peeped out of my trench, what I found was that the Christmas morning was, very quiet. It was a beautiful morning I had ever seen. The weather was very cold and frosty, as a Christmas morning should be. And we all were in a mood of celebration, but we were unable to do so because we are in the middle of the war. We are in the war ground, okay, where we are fighting against the Germans. So it's very sad that we are unable to celebrate Christmas, which is a very important festival of ours. So although the weather and everything around us is so pleasant and so fine, yet at deep in our heart we are missing something. We are missing the fun, we are missing the family, we are missing the celebration that generally happens during Christmas. So then suddenly they saw, the British soldiers saw that a white flag was waving from the trenches of the opposite enemy, that is the German, and they were calling out loudly that, wishing the British soldiers happy Christmas. Tommy means the British army, British soldiers, happy Christmas. And then the British soldiers led by Jim McPherson was very surprised, very astonished that how can our enemies wish us. So Jim McPherson told his soldiers not to be influenced or not to be moved by their wishes, because this might be their policy, this might be their tactic to bring the British soldiers out of the trenches and to kill them all together at once. So Jim McPherson told his soldiers not to remain inside safe. Okay, but then again they heard from the enemy trenches wishing them Merry Christmas. Okay, and again Jim McPherson told his soldiers to remain quiet, because this again might be a policy of trying to bring them out of the trenches and killing them all at one go, the British soldiers. So what happened then? Suddenly they all saw that the German soldiers, who were wearing great coat, waving the white flag, one by one, they all came out of the trenches, and they came out without any weapons. Okay, they were not carrying any guns, they were not carrying any arms, they were not carrying any kind of sharp weapons with them. So this was gave an indication that even the German soldiers were in a mood to celebrate Christmas, which is an important festival for everybody. They forgot about, about all the war and everything. Right now, they were in the no man's land. So the German soldiers came out of the trenches to the no man's land. No man's land is a area which is in between the German land and the British land. So the middle space is the no man's land. That means that part of land does not belong to Germany, even it does not belong to the British soldiers. So that part is called the no man's land. So the German soldiers came out and reached to the no man's land without any weapons to celebrate Christmas. So when the British soldiers saw all this, they also, without waiting for Jim McPherson's command, order to come out of the trenches and to celebrate Christmas with the German soldiers, they came out one by one, and they all, became together. After some time, the British and the German soldiers were all together, mixing and mingling with each other. Nobody could make out that this was the time when the war was at its peak. This was the time when the war was going at its full swing, and nobody can imagine that when the war was going on at its peak in full swing, the German soldiers and the British soldiers were celebrating Christmas, forgetting about their enmity, and celebrating Christmas like friends. So very soon they all started, mingling with each other, sharing food, playing different kinds of outdoor games like football and all, sharing different foods. And so nobody could make out that they were different except for the uniform. From the uniform they could make out that these were the British soldiers and these were the German soldiers. Otherwise they were all like one family celebrating Christmas together. And on one corner we could see that Jim McPherson and Hans Wolf were discussing. Okay, they were talking to each other, although they were the the enemies. They were the leaders of their own soldiers of the British army and the German army. Even they forgot the differences, they forgot that they were enemy, and they were talking just like friend to each other. So Hans Wolf also shook hands with Jim McPherson, and he introduced himself that he was from Dusseldorf, and he played the cello. Cello is a musical instrument like a violin, large violin, and he played the cello in the orchestra. He wished Jim McPherson Happy Christmas, and Captain Jim McPherson also introduced himself, and he told Hans Wolf, the German commander, that Jim McPherson was a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England, and before joining the war, he was a teacher, and he also shared with Hans Wolf the the cake and the sausages and the drinks that Jim McPherson's wife had sent before coming to the war. Okay, a lot of dry food, lot of dry cake, biscuits, and all the things which would last, which are durable, which do not become bad very quickly. All these things were sent to with Jim McPherson by Mrs. Jim McPherson before Jim left for the war. Even Hans Wood also said that although he was the leader of the German soldiers, but still he knew English. Okay, he can speak English perfectly, although he was a German, and he also, although he had never visited England before, but he could read and write English very well. He also has read some of the beautiful poems of Thomas Hardy. He mentioned a beautiful poem of Thomas Hardy, Far from the Madding Crowd. And they talk about, a lot of other things. They laughed, they shared, they smoked, they drank, and they ate, and they had a wonderful Christmas. They ate the wonderful cake which was sent by Mrs. Jim McPherson. They had the marzipan, and they had a wonderful time. They both agreed with the opinions, the thoughts that they shared with each other as if they were just friends and not enemies. And even they watched the soldiers who were playing football, and the German soldiers were winning the match, whereas the British soldiers were losing the football match. And Hence Wood shared his opinion that a war should be like a match. It should be like a war match played between the opposite parties. It should not happen with guns and weapons and arms and ammunitions where people die, where people lose their life. Because in a war, war should never happen according to Hans Wolf. War should always be in the form of a match, in the form of a game. Why? Because in a game nobody dies, nobody loses the life, no wife becomes a widow, no child becomes an orphan. So he shared this opinion with Jim McPherson, and Jim McPherson also agreed with whatever he shared. He also agreed that there should not be a war with weapons, but there should be a war with, by playing games where nobody loses a life. And then Jim McPherson also, in a very humorous manner, in a in a joking manner, he said that if my soldiers, or if our soldiers would have played cricket instead of football, I bet you hands wool that my soldiers, my British soldiers, would have won the cricket match. But here in a football match, your soldiers are winning. Had it been a cricket match, my soldiers would have definitely won the match, and I guarantee that. Why why Jim McPherson could guarantee that if it was a cricket match, the British soldiers would have won? Because cricket first started in England, and England is famous for cricket. So he could say that is why Jim McPherson would say it so confidently that if it was a cricket match, the British soldiers would have definitely won the match. Now it was the time, the evening, it was time, evening time, and they all were very, very tired because they spent the whole day playing and laughing and singing and dancing. They were extremely tired, and now it was time for them to go back to their individual trenches. That is, the German soldiers would go back to their trenches and the British soldiers would also go back to their trenches, led by the two leaders, that is Hans Wolf and Jim McPherson. Okay, and they wished each other thank you. They wished good luck, happiness, and they also wished that they meet again very soon. They also wish that the war should end very soon, so that they all can go back home. They can go back safely back home and return safely and stay happy with their family. So they all went back. Once they went back to their individual trenches, they again became enemies. Okay, they were again German enemy soldiers and they were again became British soldiers. And the whole night, from the trenches they could hear both the groups, the German soldiers and the British soldiers, singing Christmas carols like Silent Night. Okay, while Shepherd Watch and all these, they were singing the Christmas carol till late night, because they were in a mood of celebration, because it was Christmas time. After that, thus gradually the voice became less and it faded, and finally there was only silence all around, because the soldiers were tired and they went off to sleep. And that is how the Jim McPherson is ending the letter. And this letter was, as I told you, written by Jim McPherson to his wife, Mrs. Jim McPherson, where he's sharing this, extraordinary event, this extraordinary incident which happened with them in the, the war ground, where both the parties were enemies, but they celebrated Christmas like friends. And he ended the letter by promising his wife, Jim McPherson, that that by next Christmas next year, he hopes that the world will end and he would definitely be with Mrs. Jim McPherson to celebrate Christmas next year. And he winded the letter with a lot of goodwill, lot of peace, and he also said that this incident he is going to treasure for the rest of his life, because this was something very unusual that happened in his life, celebrating Christmas at the time of the war, when the war just started and was in its full swing. With these words, with this promise, good wishes, assurance to his wife that he would be there to celebrate Christmas next year, he would be back home, he ended the letter. So this is what was written on the in the letter by Jim McPherson, which the narrator read. After the narrator read the narrator, folded the letter, put the letter inside the box, and he closed the tin box and put it inside the drawer. After that, what the narrator does with the tin box, we will come to know in the next part. That is the third part of the story. So please do not forget to watch the next video, where I will be telling you what the narrator does with the black tin box. Okay, so thank you. That's all for today.